Okay, one thing that we have a little bit of a drama about is the KKK. Now, I was completely unaware about what the stuff was going on. Apparently, I'm what they call a scapegoat. Piecing it together, it's kind of like a big shit show. But when you deal with a whole bunch of men, especially black men, talking about the Klan, they talk about harassing the Klan online and they talk about his conversations, and then you watch the Black Klansman movie, and you remember back to being about 2 or 3 years old, and this man going on and on about how we're going to flood the earth because white women are evil, they're not submissive enough, and they're even, like bullcrap. And when I was a kid, it was like, you lie! Or whatever. I have a little bit of lisp. It's because it's not been a brain image. I've had a brain scan. My pupils are unequal, but that is not harmful. It's just idiopathic. So I don't have brain tumor. I don't have an aneurysm or anything like that going on. But if you go all the way back to what I was dealing with as a kid, then one thing they used to talk about all the time is, you're not singing. We hate singing. We hate Victoria's woman. The Klux part apparently comes from Denmark. And the Lamb family, I have Morgans in my family, but the Lamb family fought on one side of the Civil War, and you can you can actually watch old video about a elderly man saying, "Yeah, the Civil War he fought the Dutch, and General Lamb got off his horse and started throwing rocks at people, and Morgan turned around and shot him with a horse pistol." You know, if you know more about what's really going on, that thing that the "Don't Tread on Me," that's actually a racial reference. Okay, so when people Photoshop my eyes differently, when people do all these different types of things, what they're effectively doing is racial discrimination, racial racism, and also crying wolf, to be perfectly honest. Haha. Now, when you look at Denmark, Denmark's had a very interesting relationship with Loki. Loki is not the god of harmful chaos. He's the god of the. Yeah, you can get a prank worth Loki, and you don't want to do that. I'm on a moratorium right now, but they're not. They need to be, okay? But it's the ghost within the system, effectively, that stops harmful stagnation. So it's the thing that unfreezes the engine when you're that angry. You turn on the engine, next thing you know, it's working again. You get to drive along going, ha ha. That kind of thing is Loki, okay? But it's also mischief. It's also civil disobedience is very Loki. Yeah, he can be a little shit. We all know that, okay? But the Danes have been working with different entities. Now, if you're Dutch or whatever from Europe, this may not work for you because people who self-identify this way in the United States are not necessarily taking orders from your people, but there are people who seem to be doing both. Okay, so family bullying law. I hear y'all have one. You might want to go ahead and do a lot of documentation. Also know that there was a young woman who was put to death effectively through euthanasia, and that old joke people keep telling, because she'd been raped. Now, I've been savaged, and I'm telling you that I don't need to die. I'm not depressed. You know, depression is not a death sentence, okay? But anyway, the one thing that they absolutely hate, hold on one second. Archie, I'm doing a video sleep. Take that other room. Not slut shame my dog, but you know. Anyway, so one thing I kept hearing over and over as a kid, before I even knew what was going on, even slightly, about scapegoating or anything,